Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the June Hella Handmade Creations. So if you don't know what Hella Handmade Creations is, every month a bunch of different indie makers get together and they contribute one polish to one shop. Each maker does have their own theme and the polishes that are offered per month are all exclusive. So this month the Hella Handmade Creations shop will be open from the 14th to the 21st. In the description box below I will link where you can find the site, and I will leave all of the information on the makers down there as well. So these polishes aren't going to be available in the maker sites. It will only be on the Hella Handmade Creations site on those given dates, but it is a good representation of the brands if it's something you're interested in further exploring. So we do have 20 polishes and a soap to look at today. Let's go ahead and get started. So working alphabetically, we have 1850 Artisan Polish, and this is called I Want It Now. So this is inspired by Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when Veruca was throwing a temper tantrum about getting the golden egg. And it's described as a pink base with a multi-chrome effect that shifts throughout shades of pink, golden, orange, lavender, and turquoise. This also has holographic microflakes. So this will be available for $12 and there is no cap. So this one has a really smooth and easy to work with formula. It does take 2 coats to build up to opacity. If you work in thinner coats, you might have to go in for a third. The main colors that I'm seeing here though are the pink to like goldeny orange. And since these are holographic flakes in here, it's not going to dry textured and it's not going to be difficult to remove, but it is going to dry a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off, but removal shouldn't be difficult where you would need a peel off base coat or pure acetone or anything like that. That top coat's also going to help the holographic and the flakes stand out a little bit better, so in my swatch photo you're going to see 2 coats of I Want It Now and a glossy top coat. So up next from 77 Nail Lacquer we have You Oughta Know. So this was inspired by Alanis Morissette and it's described as a purple base with a red hollow micro flake, a jade mauve ultra chrome chameleon flaky, a blue to purple to red shifting pigment, and a jade hollow micro glitter. So this will retail for $12.50 and there's only 50 bottles available. So this one also has a good formula to work with. It is a little bit thicker than the previous one that we looked at. Because of all of the elements that are in here, it is going to thicken it up just a little bit, so you do want to make sure to work in thinner coats to make sure you can see all those elements and have like a nice dry time on your coats. So I did do 3 coats for this one. The flakes and everything come out really easily. You don't have to do any fishing or swirling to get them to come out. You don't have to do any kind of placement to get them to go where you want on the nail. Again, these are flakes that are in here, so it's not going to dry textured and it's not going to be difficult to remove. Again, this one is going to dry down dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off, or if you want those flakes to stand out, a matte top coat will help that. The shiftiness that's in this bottle does also transfer to the nail. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of You Oughta Know and a glossy top coat. So next from Chirality, we have Crotein. This was inspired by Fight Milk from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I've never seen, and it's described as a cobalt blue polish filled with blue to indigo shifting shimmer and a gold hollow micro glitter. So this will retail for $10 and there's no cap. This one definitely looks like a nice night sky in the bottle. It's very deep, but the gold that's in here does make it like brighter and it makes it look like a starry night. Formula on this one is really good, very easy to work with. Again, those glitters gave me no problems at all. It took 2 coats to build up to opacity, but these are glitters as opposed to the flakes that we've previously looked at. So it is going to dry textured and it is going to be a little bit difficult to remove. This glitter in particular isn't like the worst offender that I have seen as far as the removal process goes, but I would still personally, if I was wearing this one on a daily basis, would wear a peel off base coat. You do get a ton of glitter out, again, without having to do any kind of swirling or dipping or anything like that. And the glossy top coat is also going to help the holographic stand out a little bit better as well. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Crotein and a glossy top coat. So next from Ethereal Lacquer, we have Rise. So this was inspired by the Phoenix and it's described as a smoky light plum base with a fiery iridescent flaky. This will retail for $12.50 and there is no cap. So this is the kind of polish that I really love. It definitely screams fall to me. It looks like you know, a fall color in general, but then the more warm toned flakes that are in here kind of give it like a leafy vibe. So I really, really like this. Fall colors are easily my favorites and my go-tos. Formula on this is very good. It does take 3 coats to build up to opacity. You do want to work in thinner coats to make sure you can see these flakies. These kind of iridescent-y flakes are very delicate, so they do get lost in bases quite easily. If you make it too pigmented, you will lose those flakies. So to get it to give this nice 3-dimensional look on the nail, you do want a more sheer base, and Ethereal has done that really, really well here. So like I said, it does take 3 coats to build up to opacity. It dries a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off, or a matte top coat is my preferred way to wear a flaky. The manicure doesn't last as long. That doesn't bother me, but I think it looks really, really nice. Nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of Rise and a glossy top coat. So next, from Graceful Nail Polish, we have Miss Arrow. This was inspired by DC, and it's described as a fuchsia jelly with a crystal chameleon flaky and a hollow flaky. This will retail for $10.50, and there's a cap of 80 bottles. So this one is really, really beautiful. It's completely original in my collection. It's kind of like a deeper fuchsia base, almost in the realm of like fuchsia to magenta. If they had a baby, that's where this would be. The flakes that are in here, I feel, aren't something that I would have thought of and been like, that would look cute together. So I really like the originality in this. It does look really good together. Formula on this one was thinner than I expected. I looked at the bottle and I assumed it would be a little bit on the thicker side because of everything that's happening in here, but it is very easy to work with. Nice and thin, and it does give that wiggle room to kind of thicken up over time, so I really do appreciate that. This one takes 2 coats to build up to opacity. If you want, again, those flakes to stand out, you will want a matte top coat, and if you want the hollow to stand out, you will want a glossy top coat. Either way, I would recommend putting a top coat on this because it doesn't dry glossy, it doesn't dry matte. It's somewhere right in that just kind of dull region, so it doesn't look like a finished manicure until you top coat it. This one's also going to dry slightly textured, so you will want a top coat for that reason as well. The removal on this isn't super difficult. You will have to do a little bit of scrubbing to get all of the little micro glitter off of your nails, but it's nothing that like a chunky kind of crelly formula would provide. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Miss Arrow and a glossy top coat. So next, from Heather's Hues, we have I'm Nuts for Butts. This was obviously inspired by Tina from Bob's Burgers, and it is described as an ultraviolet crelly with an iridescent flaky in aqua to violet to pink to gold. This also has lavender hollow micro glitters, neon purple and lavender flakies, hollow micro shreds in hot pink, baby pink, and violet, and metallic flakies in turquoise, purple, and electric blue. So this will retail for $12.50, and there is no cap. So this goes on really smooth. It does lean more on the cream side of acrylic as opposed to the jelly side, so it does only take 2 coats to build up to opacity. Formula is very good though, very smooth, easy to work with. These flakies do lie nice and evenly across the nail, and they do distribute very easily as well. This one is going to dry slightly textured because of the larger flakes that are in there and because of the micro glitter, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off. And maybe peel off base coat. The little micro glitter that are in here do take a tiny bit of scrubbing to remove. It's not, again, the worst kind of glitter to remove, but it is a little bit of extra work. If you don't feel like putting that effort in, I would recommend that peel off base coat. But I'm actually really loving this shade of purple on myself right now, so I really, really do enjoy this one. In my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of I'm Nuts for Butts and a glossy top coat. So up next, from Kathleen & Co., we have Echeverria. So this is inspired by a garden, and it's described as a teal blue enchanting aurora. This will retail for $12, and there's a cap of 50 bottles available. So the Aurora shimmer that's in here, I think, goes from a pinky purple to like a golden green. Formula on this, very good. No complaints across the board. This does take 3 coats to build up to opacity. If you want to see that Aurora shimmer in any polish, you're going to need the 3 coats. You will want a glossy top coat to finish this off because it does dry down a little bit dull. But nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. I did want to go ahead and say, though, that my swatch photos came out not the most color accurate. They looked more like a cobalt blue than a tealy blue, so just bear that in mind. I think the swatch photos that are on the site are a much better representation of the color of this polish. Also, the shimmer that's in here is going to stand out much more in the bottle than on your nail, so just bear that in mind. You don't get nearly the shift that's in this polish on your nail. It is there, it's just not nearly as strong. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of Echeverria and a glossy top coat. So up next, from Lake House Soapery, we have a soap in the Mermaid of the Lake scent. So their theme is Isn't That Refreshing, and this is described as a refreshing scent blend of floral scents such as iris, jasmine, water lily, orchid, and white rose mixed with sandalwood, soft musk, and a tonka bean. So only 11 of these will be available, and they will be $9 each. My little tail broke off in transit, so that might be a thing that's an issue. I actually just put top coat on it and put it back on, and it seemed to hold up just fine for the photos and everything, but this smells really nice. I have been saving it to actually use though for this review because I felt like holding up a soapy bar would be less than appealing. But it does smell really good. It does feel nice. It feels like it'll be nice and moisturizing. I absolutely can't wait to use this. I love getting soap. This actually smells like a candle that I have, but I can't quite put my finger on it. It's something from Bath and Body Works. But anyway, that is the Mermaid of the Lake soap from Lake House Soapery. So up next, from Lily Pad Lacquer, we have Beep Beep. So this was inspired by Looney Tunes, and it's described as a vibrant violet base with a blue shimmer and an orange micro hollow glitter. This will be $15.50, and there is no cap. So this is nice and opaque on the first coat. It does take 2 coats to build up to opacity. The combination of this kind of deeper purple and orange totally reminds me of Halloween, so I love it for that reason. The flakes that are in here do get a little bit lost. They are there, and it does kind of give it that glow from within look, but as somebody who loves and needs all the flakies, I do wish I'd seen them just a tad bit more. But if it's something that you're looking for more of a subtle flake, and it does give it that kind of shine without being the star, this is a really, really good one. This did get opaque in 2 coats for me. It is going to dry textured because of the glitter that's in there, and it is also going to be pretty difficult to remove because of the amount of glitter that's in there. So you will want a glossy top coat and potentially a peel-off base coat for this one. These glitters do come out really nicely though, and it gives me no problem for application whatsoever. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Beep Beep and a glossy top coat. So up next, from Limby Designs, we have Not One of My Wigs. This was inspired by Schitt's Creek, and it's described as a pink base with a red to violet to blue shifting shimmer, pink to blue to gold ultra chrome chameleon flakies, and hollow shreds. This will retail for $13, and there's a cap of 90 bottles available. So the formula on this is pretty good, no complaints, very smooth across the board. You do get a good amount of these flakies and hollow out, again, without having to do any kind of swirling or fishing to get them out. This does take 3 coats for me to be completely opaque. Depending on your application, you may be able to get away with 2 coats. This one is, the shimmer that's in here is so strong that it's super reflective on the nail. It almost looks like a metallic-y kind of finish, and I really, really appreciate that. This one is going to dry down pretty textured, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish it off, potentially a peel-off base coat because the micro glitter that's in there, it will be a little bit more difficult to remove. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of Not One of My Wigs and a glossy top coat. So up next, from My Indie Polish, we have My Little Pony. So this was obviously inspired by My Little Ponies, more specifically the vintage ones, and it's described as a beautiful white crelly with a slate shimmer and a beautiful fun mix of glitter. This will retail for $11.50, and there is no cap. So the glitter that I'm seeing in here are on the pastel side. I have pastel pinks, I have pastel like kind of teals, I have purples in pastel and darker. I do have a couple different sizes in here, and the shimmer that's in here I'm seeing is kind of a pinky purpley shade. This does take 3 coats to build up to opacity for me. I didn't get a ton of glitter out. I feel like this is one where if you wanted an explosion of glitter on your nail, you'd have to hold it upside down for just a hot second before application, which I didn't do. I got a good amount, just not an overwhelming amount. The glitter that's in here is going to dry textured, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off. And it is going to be on the more difficult side to remove because there are both small, medium, and large glitter. Both. There is small, medium, and large glitter in this, so it is going to be a little bit more on the difficult side to remove. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of My Little Pony and a glossy top coat. Up next from Nailed It Nail Polish, we have Miss Mystic Falls. This was inspired by the Vampire Diaries, and it's described as a pink jelly filled with pink to gold to green crystal flakies, indigo aurora, and a subtle hollow. This will be available for $12.50, and there's a cap of 100 bottles available. So this one is really bright on your nail as well. It does take 3 coats to build up to opacity for me. Depending on your application, and if you're not too picky, you might be able to get away with 2 coats. But I do feel these flakes that are in here are best built up, and to get the ultimate look, I would recommend the 3rd coat. Formula on this is good though. I didn't have any trouble getting the flakies out. It is a little bit on the thicker side where I feel like after a couple uses you might need a little bit of thinner. No big deal though, very easy to work with. I didn't have any kind of running or pulling or staining or anything like that. Actually, I haven't been saying that, but nothing in here has stained me. Nothing in this video. You will want a top coat to smooth everything out. Some of these larger flakes can dry a little bit textured. I did also get one that just kind of for some reason bent up like into an L shape. I did have to go in with a pair of cuticle nippers and just like pick it out. Otherwise it would have drove me absolutely up a wall. But the top coat is going to smooth out the larger flakes and make everything look nice and cohesive. That being said, nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. It's not going to be like a glitter. So in my swatch photo, you were going to see 3 coats of Miss Mystic Falls in a glossy top coat. Up next from Nail Hoot Lacquer, we have Gabriel. This was inspired by Desperate Housewives, and it's described as a fun, bright yellow polish filled to the brim with a combination of iridescent glitters, micro flakies, and a scattered hollow. This will retail for $9.99, and there is no cap. So this is such a nice, bright, summery shade. It reminds me of a cool glass of lemonade. I can totally get behind this one. I love the iridescent glitter that's in here. I like the hollow that's in here. I love the shade of this. Very good formula. Again, not too thick or too thin. No running, pulling, staining, anything of that sort. This one is going to dry down pretty dull and slightly textured though, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off. And the glitter that's in here is going to take a little bit of scrubbing to remove. If you don't like the process of removing glitter, you will want to peel off base coat for this one because these iridescent glitters can tend to be a little bit more finicky to remove. I feel like I'm missing something with this one because I only talked for a second, but in my swatch photo you're going to see 3 coats of Gabriel and a glossy top coat. So up next from Native War Paints we have Praying for You. This was inspired by Native American culture history, and it's described as a blue Crelly with red, orange, gold, and blue holographic glitter along with silver holographic triangle glitters and a bit of hollow. This will retail for $12.75, and there is no cap. So Native War Paints definitely has their Crellys down. This had a good formula. I got a good amount of glitter out. I didn't have to do any kind of fishing for anything in particular. I was able to get triangles out with no issue. Very easy Crelly to work with. If you aren't used to working with Crellys or you find them on the more difficult side, this is a good place for you. Very easy Crelly to work with. Since this is glitter though, it will dry textured. You will want a nice thick glitter eating glossy top coat to finish this one off, and probably a peel off base coat again because of the glitter that's in here. If you don't like to remove glitter, peel off base coat. But obviously your manicure is not going to last as long if you use peel off base coat, so whatever you're feeling. The glitter that's in here is nice and reflective. It's absolutely beautiful. This is something that I also feel like would be really nice for like a 4th of July manicure. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Praying for You and a glossy top coat. Up next from my brand Pampered Polishes, we have Sora, You Lazy Bum. This was inspired by Kairi from Kingdom Hearts, and it's a magenta Crelly base packed with charcoal and iridescent flakies accented with a speckling of hollow. This will retail for $12, and there is no cap. So I think the formula on this is pretty good. Not too thick or too thin, no running, pulling, staining, anything of that sort. It does take 2 coats to build up to opacity. You get a good amount of these flakies out. I love doing these little charcoal flakies in the colored bases. I feel like it just gives it something extra special, but it's not overwhelming in the polish. So it gives it like a nice soft look to the nail, and I really, really like that. This one is going to dry down a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish this off. A matte top coat will help those charcoal flakes stand out a little bit better if that's something that you are trying to go for. But nothing in here is going to dry textured or be difficult to remove because it's not a glitter. It is full of those flakes. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Soaray, You Lazy Bum, and a glossy top coat. So next from Poetry Cowgirl, we have My Tractor Sexy. This was inspired by the Kenny Chesney song, and it's described as a bright tractor green jelly with a yellow shimmer and a touch of hollow. This will retail for $10, and there is no cap. So once again, I do thoroughly enjoy Poetry Cowgirl naming their polish off of a country song. Really speaks to me, touches my heart, and this polish is absolutely gorgeous. The shade of green is very grassy, very John Deere tractor. The shimmer that's in here stands out really, really nicely. The hollow stands out really, really nicely. I have 0 complaints. This polish takes 3 coats to build up to opacity. You will want a glossy top coat for longevity purposes. It dries mostly glossy on its own. You will want that top coat though to just kind of finish it off. Nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of My Tractor Sexy and a glossy top coat. So next from Pretty Jelly, we have Shine Aqua Illusion. This was inspired by Sailor Mercury from the show Sailor Moon, and it's described as a blurple jelly with hollow flakies, green and blue iridescent flakies, and red and green shimmer. This will retail for $13, and there is no cap. So blurple is definitely the best color description for this. I think it's a like super dark blue base, and then it's got like a blue to purple shifting shimmer. So it kind of, like, it photographs more blue and then it looks more purple for me. Formula is very smooth, completely opaque in 2 coats, a lot of flakies out on your nail. It dries a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish that off. But nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Shine Aqua Illusion and a glossy top coat. So up next from Quixotic Polish, we have Fly High. This was inspired by graffiti art, and it's described as a peacock teal base with a fine red to gold to green shifting particle and lit with iridescent flakies that shift from lime to blue to purple. This will retail for $12, and there's a cap of 150 bottles available. When I first saw it, it was another one that I thought that these little flakes were kind of misplaced. They didn't really belong in the polish. But after putting it on, it really adds something special to an otherwise like overdone multi-chrome. Formula is very smooth, completely opaque in 3 coats. Multi-chromes do tend to be more on the sheer side. If you don't want to do 3 coats of this, you could layer it over a black. The shift is strong in this one. You don't have to do anything special to get that to show. I really, really appreciate that from this. This is going to dry pretty glossy on its own, just slightly textured because of the larger flakes that are in here, so you will want a glossy top coat for that reason. But that's not a glitter, it is a flake, so nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. Overall, probably one of my favorite ones in the bunch today. You're going to see in my swatch photo 3 coats of Fly High and a glossy top coat. So up next from Schlee Polish, we have Whatever That Power Is. This was inspired by Gwen Stacy, and it's described as a white tinted base with pink iridescent flakies and aurora pigment and holographic flakies. This will retail for $14, and there's a cap of 100 bottles available. So this one is like really beautiful and like majestic on the nail. The white tinted base with the shifting shimmer that it goes from like a pinky orange to a goldeny green is absolutely beautiful. This is something that reminds me of unicorns. It's like very ethereal and mythical. Just very, very beautiful and dainty. Formula is good. It does take 3 coats to build up to opacity. You will want a top coat to smooth everything out. It does dry slightly textured because of all the flakes that are in here. A matte top coat will help bring out the iridescent flakes in here if that's something that you are wanting to come to the forefront of the polish. Nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. This is primarily made up of shimmers and flakes, so everything should come off decently easy. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of whatever that power is in a glossy top coat. We're almost at the end, guys. Don't quit on me now. Up next from Turtle Tootsie Polish, we have Run Forest Run. This is obviously inspired by Forrest Gump, and it's described as a turquoise hollow with gold flakies and purple blue chameleon flakies. This will retail for $11 and there is no cap. So this one gives a nice soft kind of robin's egg look on the nail. It takes only 2 coats to build up to opacity. The hollow that's in here stands out really nice. The flakes that are in here stand out really nice. You will want a glossy top coat to finish this off because it dries a little bit dull, and it'll help the hollow in here stand out a little bit better. If you want the flakes again to come to the forefront, you would want a matte top coat for this one. Nothing in here is going to dry textured, and nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. I also didn't have any kind of running, pooling, or staining with this one either. Once again, I didn't have any staining with anything in today's video, just to be clear. I know I've said it very sporadically. But in my swatch photo, you're going to see 2 coats of Run Forest Run and a glossy top coat. And last but not least, from Wildflower Lacquer, we have Foxy. This was inspired by Wayne's World, and it's described as a white crelly with scattered hollow flakes, crystal flakes that shift from silver to pink to aqua, and indigo to blue to green, with a pinch of aqua sparks. This will retail for $12.50, and there's a cap of 80 bottles available. So this is much like the Schlee polish in today's video. It is more of a kind of milky white, and the Schlee is more of a kind of off-white gray color. And then obviously the flakes that are in here are different. The shimmer in the Schlee is much stronger. So there's differences, but the similarity between the 2 polishes, in my opinion, is that it gives a nice, like, ethereal kind of majestic look on the nail. Once again, this does take 3 coats to build up to opacity, and even after that 3rd coat, I could vaguely make out my nail line if I'm looking for it, so just bear that in mind. If you didn't want to do 3 coats of this, you might be able to layer it over a white. Formula on this one was a little bit on the thicker side. It's not that thickness where it's difficult to work with, but it will thicken over time even more, so you will, after a few uses, probably have to use some thinner in here, which I don't mind whatsoever. This one is going to dry down a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat to finish it off. A matte top coat is something that I would wear on this one, absolutely, as opposed to the Schlee. I'd wear matte on the Schlee, but I would definitely mattify this one given the chance to wear it on a daily basis. I think it helps to, especially because there's 2 different kinds of iridescent shifty flakies in here, it'll help bring those to the forefront and make everything look nice and distinguishable, so I think that's going to be a really, really beautiful look. This is going to dry slightly textured though because of the larger flakes that are in here, but nothing in here is going to be difficult to remove. So in my swatch photo, you're going to see 3 coats of Foxy and a glossy top coat. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. What was your favorite from my 20 polish lineup? And what was your favorite from this month's Hella Handmade Creations overall? I definitely didn't receive everything from this month, so there's a lot to be looked at still. So let me know what your favorite was, and let me know what you plan on picking up. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.